So after Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, you're probably thinking I can't find a worse game. Well, there's probably something out there, but Sonic Generations isn't it. In fact, Sonic Generations is, in a nutshell, possibly one of the best modern Sonic games I've ever played. But why is that? Well, I've mentioned several times this month that I seem to be stuck in the retro portions of the Sonic games. Well, Sonic Generations appeases that aspect of my thinking. Let me slow down and explain how it works. You play as Sonic, as is the norm. You don't control any other characters, thank God. No Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Silver, Amy Rose, etc. Yeah, they all make appearances, but they are all unplayable in any way, shape, or form. No real complaints, to be honest, because after Sonic 2006, I'd be a little worried. But instead, you play as Sonic who runs through Green Hill Zone, who then gets attacked by some strange beast that comes out of a portal. Meanwhile, sometime later, Sonic rushes to a surprise birthday party and gets attacked by the same beast. Each one of his friends are sucked into a different portal, and Sonic then runs through a 3D version of Green Hill Zone, which is frickin' awesome. After completing this, Tails is saved, and Sonic says something about the area looking familiar, which Tails hilariously mentions that it doesn't look like something he's been through. Serious humor. He then sees Sonic again. In case you haven't figured it out, you play as both younger and modern Sonic. The whole bit with 2D and 3D, that's the game's main mechanic. See, this is how it works. Each zone, of which there's 9 of them taken from other Sonic games, has 2 acts. The first act is the 2D act, and always involves retro Sonic. The second act is the 3D modern Sonic area. Truth be told, Act 2 is typically played more like Sonic Unleashed daytime levels, which I don't mind because I actually found them fun. In addition, they really seem to learn the mistakes they made in Sonic Unleashed and made these sections even more fun than before. Amazing that. If you play the games that the levels were taken from, they're going to look really familiar. Of course, they aren't complete carbon copies, because where would the fun be in that? But if you've ever played Sonic 1, you'll recognize Green Hill Zone. If you're a Sonic 2 fan, Chemical Plant Zone is going to make you feel all happy in your pants. Plus, the music is freaking awesome. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, as I normally talk about music at the end of reviews, but each zone has a faithfully remixed track. Chemical Plant Zone is of course my favorite, but I even liked the Sonic Unleashed Rooftop Run level, and if you don't like the particular track that's associated with the level, you don't have to fret too much, as each level's music can be changed to any song that you've unlocked, of which there's about 50 songs. And these 50 songs are all the original songs from the original game they're taken from. So if you want to play, say, the Crisis City Zone, but switch out Sonic 3's Hydrocity Zone music, well, you're more than welcome to it. Most games have 3 chosen songs that can be unlocked, but this isn't true for all of them. And I will admit that although all of the songs are particularly good, I do tend to enjoy the 2D Sonic tracks a bit more. I know, me and my tendency to cling to classic games. So each zone's sole goal is to get to the finish line. It's all standard fare as far as gameplay goes. The retro Sonic stages are just like Sonic 1 through 3, and Act 2 resembles the 3D games, like Sonic Adventure or Unleashed. Notice how I'm omitting 06 here, because that game is best left forgotten. But in any case, if the game only offered 18 acts, you'd be done in about 2 hours, sadly. Thankfully, there's a lot more to do, in the form of side missions. There's several types. The one that will occupy most of your time is with the gate challenges. Here's how those work. Each zone has 5 challenge gates. Each one gives you a different mission. They range from collecting a set amount of ranks before hitting the goal, reaching the goal with the enemy AI on hyperspeed, or even racing one of your friends to the goal. Each zone also has a doppelganger race, in which it's really just a time trial where you can see your clone running around. There's several reasons to play these challenge gates. For one, it's the only way to proceed with the game at first. Let me clarify. Each section of the game is spread up by 3 zones of 2 acts each. Once you clear all of those, you're tasked with getting 3 keys to unlock the boss of that section. These keys are found by simply completing 3 of the challenge gates. Each gate, and it doesn't matter which one, awards a key. The only catch is that each gate must be from a different zone. Once you get the keys, you unlock the boss, and when you defeat that, you move on to the next 3 zones. The only real other incentive to play these challenge gates is just for completion's sake. It also unlocks all the extra stuff. When clearing a gate, regardless on your ranking in it, you'll see a gold bell appear above it. By ringing this bell, a musical note will pop out, and you have 20 seconds to chase it down and grab it. When you do so, you'll unlock something, typically concept art or music. It's a nice little incentive to complete these challenges, if anything for the unlockable music. The only other thing to mention about these gates is that they are different between modern and classic Sonic. So although you might think that there's only 45 gates, which 9 zones bearing 5 gates, you actually have to double that. So yeah, there's plenty to do, even after you clear the main zones and bosses. But there's also the Red Star coins. This is another collectible, but found in the main sections of the game, not the challenge gates. And once again, there's 2 sets to collect, one for both versions of Sonic. These coins are found in typically hard to reach or hidden areas, and sometimes just require a split-second timing in order to nab them out of the air. Sure, you might have to replay the stages 100 times to find them all, but I think the game is fun enough to accommodate that replayability. Maybe you're a competitive person, and if so, there is an online leaderboard that you can attempt to mess with. In online mode, there are 2 different options, 30-second trial and ranked play. Ranked play is your standard complete the stages as quickly as possible and get timed. The 30-second trial is exactly that. You have 30 seconds to get from the start point of the stage to as far away as possible. I personally didn't think that this was all that great, so I only played it once, but I did put scores on the leaderboard just for a trophy. An easy one at that. There is another reason to play the standard acts, the skill system. It's nothing that's of RPG proportions, but there are special abilities that you can equip on each Sonic. You get 100 points to mess with, and this will limit what skills can be equipped, as each has a different point cost. One of these skills gets you rings right from the start of the level, one lets you recover from damage quicker, one lets you stop easier, and the best one is when you complete the game, where you can use all 100 points to equip Super Sonic. Freaking awesome. Same rules apply as other games. You need 50 rings to activate it, and then you can just go nuts. These skills don't seem to take place in the challenge gates, so keep that in mind. You know, I never mentioned the bosses. Only one is a fresh new boss, the final one. The other 3 are all replicas of previous game bosses. Once you find the keys, you unlock the boss zone. The first one is against Robotnik from Sonic 2, and I've always hated that final boss. The second boss is against Pure Chaos from Sonic Adventure. The third is against Egg Dragon, who was featured in Sonic Unleashed. You're locked into which Sonic you can use in these battles. In order to access the final boss, you need all of the Chaos Emeralds, and in order to do that, you have to challenge 3 of your rivals. They consist of Metal Sonic, Shadow, and Silver. Each of them can be considered bosses in their own ways. Once you defeat them, you're given a Chaos Emerald. These battles can be either easy or difficult. It really depends on how good your reaction times are. Only a couple other things before I start to wind up this review. The graphics of the game are simply phenomenal. Each zone looks and feels original, regardless of whether it's in 2D or 3D. In fact, for the games I haven't played, such as Sonic Heroes, I wouldn't have actually known whether the game was in 2D or 3D before Generations. The cool thing is that in the closing credits, you'll view a video of the source games, explaining where each zone was taken from. I actually enjoyed watching that just as much as playing the regular game. Also, I'd like to mention the cutscenes. They're done extremely well and are incredibly smooth. Each character looks amazing, and the voice acting is thankfully some of the best the series has ever seen. Tails' voice grates on me a bit, but other than that, voice acting is fairly minimal, due to a real lack of cutscenes. One thing that still amazes me though, is that you can see the cloth-like texture on each character's gloves. It's like, damn, that is some fine attention to detail. I think that's all I have for Sonic Generations. And as such, wraps up Sonic September 2016. If you're a Sonic fan, this game is a must-play. Yes, the actual game is way too short for my liking, but there's enough extra stuff in there to keep you playing. It really is an appropriate game for what was said was Sonic's 20th anniversary. Being that this game was released in 2011 and it's now 2016, Sonic is now 25 years old. Holy crap. I really hope they make a sequel to this game, and by the sounds of it, they are. But I hope they stick with the same formula and don't try to veer too far away from this. And they better not change the look of classic Sonic, because I'll be honest, he's just way too damn cute. Final score? 9 out of 10. This is Reaper. Happy fragging.